are Geekcentric, and you can be too. Love ya. Get home safe, guys. Peace.
Welcome to the Geekcentric Podcast. My name is Nate, and welcome to a very special Behind the Geeks episode. If you're joining us for the first time, we are Geekcentric, a podcast focusing on the world of movies, TV shows, games, toys, and collectibles, and all things geekcentric. Joining me for today's short but magic-filled adventure, he always looks good in a daikini bikini, eating fettuccine while wearing a beanie. He's Justin, the Jade Stan Lawrence.
I can assure you I would not look good in a bikini, whatever the hell.
Eating fettuccine? You would? Are you sure?
Eating fettuccine? No, that just sounds like all sorts of wrong.
I mean, listen, if anyone's watching this wants to Photoshop it and get it to us through our email, we'll link our email. Please don't. Justin, how's it going? I know, I think I mentioned in my interview that we're about to show here that I actually had never seen the original Willow up until watching the series. I want to know for you, when was the first time you partook in the illustrious magic that is the 1988 Willow?
I think I was 5 or 6 when it was shown to me, and I think my cousin showed it to me. I saw it before I saw Star Wars. I know that. I was introduced to it fairly young, and I just remember it just being, an adventure sort of thing, and charming. And I'd seen Princess Bride as well, so that kind of reminded me of that. But it was a little edgier, and Val Kilmer was in it. And at the time, I didn't even know who Val Kilmer was, obviously. But yeah, revisiting it ahead of this series does not age well. That's for sure. It's got definitely elements that are very forward, but other things that felt very much like it kept it in a box. And I think that box over time, over these many years, hasn't aged it well. But this series, though, I can say nothing but great things about this series, which we'll talk more about in our spoiler-free review when we get there. Yeah,
our spoiler-free review we're going to drop tomorrow if you're watching this on the day that we release it here on YouTube. The Willow series is also launching tomorrow on Disney Plus, November 30th. Now, you might not know everyone we had the chance to talk to from this cast yet, but I think you are going to fall in love with them throughout this series. I had the chance to sit down with Cruz and Tony Revolori. Justin, you sat down with Erin Kellyman and Amar Chadha-Patel. I think the Kasdan name is well known throughout the Geekiverse for his dad, but you got to speak to showrunner of Willow, Jon Kasdan, and huge thanks to Lucasfilm and Disney Plus Canada for giving us 10 minutes each with these folks. A lot of time. We got to go to some really silly, funny questions, I think. I think it's I don't know. I had a good time. Did you have a good time, Justin?
Yeah, I blessed and humbled to have 10 minutes with Jon Kasdan as well as Erin and Amar. It was absolutely an honor and a privilege to have all the time in the world to talk to these people about this fantastic series, because it's tons of fun.
Cool. Well, listen, without further ado, let's get to those interviews with Jon Kasdan, Erin Kellyman, Amar Chadha-Patel, Cruz, and Tony Revolori.
Hey, John, welcome to the Geekcentric Podcast. My name is Justin. How are you today, man?
I'm well. I'm happy to be here. Happy to talk to you.
Awesome. I'm very excited to talk to you about this fantastic series. Now, I know you were a huge fan of the original movie, which kind of sparked the interest of wanting to, I guess, dive in and tell more stories. But I'd love to know, when you were a kid, what was it about this movie that really spoke to you? And now, years later, you're wanting to tell more stories.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it, and I think this is often true, is a lot of it was timing for me. It came at me when I was 8 years old and ready to sort of graduate to big boy movies, if you will. And I went to the theater and saw Willow for the first time and was terrified and sort of exhilarated, and I thought it was funny, and I thought I wanted to be like Matt Mardigan, and I thought I'd probably like to go out with a girl like Joanne Whalley, and all these things came at me at a very impressionable moment in my life.
Right.
So that when I grew up, it was a movie I found myself revisiting time and again, on VHS, on Laserdisc, and finally on DVD and Blu-ray. So, it was never far from my mind. And when I came to be working at Lucasfilm in the mid 2010s, it was something I thought there was real opportunity around exploiting as a potential place for more stories and more of classic George Lucas style stories. Because for me, so much of George's legacy is about this spirit of entertainment and escapist fun entertainment that he did better than anyone on earth. And while we've had many Star Wars adventures and we've had many Indiana Jones adventures, now Willow was the unspoiled country, sort of, if you will. And it felt like there was an opportunity here to make that happen.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think this really does give breath to Lucasfilm's ability with the style of storytelling, right? Like Willow kind of just fell off, and now with this series, it really doesn't reinvigorate the power of Lucasfilm as this sort of powerhouse in storytelling with fantasy base, sci-fi adventure. So I love it all. I think originally this was intended to be a movie before it transitioned into being a series. What were those conversations looking like?
Well, that was always, I mean, my first impulse was movies because that's sort of the world I came out of and my first love. And the original was, of course, a movie. And it was only in 2018 when Ron and I met that it was becoming clear that the medium of television was changing to make room for stories of this scale and this amount of spectacle, and I think that Game of Thrones was so revelatory to so many filmmakers throughout the industry about the kind of stories that could be told on a large canvas, and that one of the huge advantages of doing this for television rather than for movies was that there was an opportunity to both do huge scale epic stuff, but also much quieter moments that movie theaters are less inclined to fit together as neatly as television does. So it's been a real exciting moment to be a part of the culture. And then it's also, simply a reality that it's hard to take a 34-year-old IP that was beloved but not wildly successful and translate it into a big budget blockbuster. But this television world has created an opportunity for those stories to continue and be built out.
Well, I love the idea that we can spend more time with these characters.
Absolutely.
Right? Just dive in a lot more. And with that, I think one of my favorite parts about this series is the combination of fantasy with very contemporary elements that do speak to today. Specifically, like the dialogue. I love it. I'd love to know, how did you find a way to mix those two elements, and why was it so important to do so, to kind of mix that?
So much of the character of the show comes out of really the triumphant of George, Ron, and Bob Dolman and what they set up with Val Kilmer, and a kind of looseness that they had in the movie, a playfulness to the dialogue that was contemporary and was like someone you might know or see hanging out behind the liquor store of your favorite, mini mart. He just seemed like a character that just belonged in our world as much as he belonged in this fantasy world. And we wanted to create characters that had that quality, that felt for 22 as contemporary as Val felt in 1988. And, that really informed the casting process throughout. So we knew certain people like Warwick would be sort of stalwarts of the fantasy genre and grounded in a reality and sense of place, while other people like Ruby Cruz could bring a energy and an exuberance that was uniquely 2022.
Yeah, what really elevates this whole story is the cast and their sort of dynamic together. And I got to know, like, when you're writing these characters, is there do you have sources of inspiration when you're coming up? Like,
certainly with Jade, I mean, with a character like Jade, there was never any possibility that there was going to be anyone but Erin Kellyman in that role.
Awesome.
You know, when we were kind of conceiving this show on the set of Solo, and we knew we wanted this sort of dynamic of these three women at the center of the pilot, and you wouldn't know which one was Elora Danan, and we're like, well, we're going to need some redheads, and we're going to need some brilliant actresses, and we're going to need some diversity, and we want all these elements in the story. And Erin was standing directly in front of us, and we thought, like, well, this person's definitely going in the show
for sure. Yeah, and she's again, she stands on her own. She's badass, and she, again, the whole cast just comes together really, really well. If you were to put yourself into this series, what kind of character would you write for Jon Kasdan to be in this series?
That is a great question, and there's certainly a lot of me in all these characters.
I thought so, yeah.
But I mean, I think I relate to something in Elora, frankly, about not knowing quite who you are, and then being sort of confronted at the same time by a legacy of what you're supposed to be, and the sort of the expectations on you to deliver a certain kind of magic. Right. It's relatable for any showrunner. Mm-hmm. And that the anxiety and the tumult that creates, and then the way that can sometimes feed your work, is certainly the most personal idea in the show to me.
Wow. I absolutely love that. Jon, this has been an absolute pleasure to talk with you. Yeah, man, it's again, just to gush about it, I love that you've really fused the fantasy, the contemporary, you've kept the charm, you've updated it. I'm really enjoying it. And we've had a year of Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones, and I got to say, this is tons of fun. So looking forward to seeing more, man.
Feel that way. We're looking forward to making some more. So I'm so
awesome
to hear you say this. This is
awesome.
Great.
Jon, have a great rest of your day, man.
Thank you. You too, man.
Erin and Amar, welcome to the Geekcentric Podcast. My name is Justin. I am so excited to have the opportunity to chat with you guys. How are you today?
We are well.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I am doing great. I'm talking to the two of you, and we are about to get into why I love this series so much, and it really does come down to the characters. All of you guys together, you guys just have such a great dynamic, and I think they're just incredibly relatable and real, which is crazy to think, given the fact that we're talking about a fantasy world, if you will. I do have two questions in and around your characters, and that is there a person that has inspired your portrayal of the characters that you play?
Oh, interesting.
Ooh.
For me, there's a little bit of Val Kilmer's Mad Mardigan in there. I'm paying tribute to that archetype for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then another inspiration, which I've definitely talked about before, was Toshiro Mifune, who's a Japanese actor from Seven Samurai. And Jon and I discussed this from the very beginning. He has this dirty, messy swagger. He's kind of like a caged tiger. And we were trying to bring this sort of like aloof swagger and messiness to Borman. I think we hopefully managed to achieve.
I would agree so.
Right.
Jon gave us kind of like a list of movies to watch in preparation for us taking these roles on, and I think one of the ones that stuck with me the most was The Breakfast Club, and seeing how that dynamic kind of worked and all of these different people coming together really stuck with me. And he also created a very safe space to be able to just talk about our characters and our background, and to create this character together was really fun.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to chat with him earlier today, and he did speak to how it was very much a collaboration and find that place of where it feels real and genuine. And I think that, again, that's really the heart for me of this series thus far, 3 episodes in. I think, again, related to characters, is there a trait personally for yourselves that you identify with your characters that you say is very much who you are as a person in your everyday?
You have that rod up your butt.
Shut up. I do not have a rod up my butt.
He does not.
No, I don't think so either.
All right, I push my emotions down with humor.
Absolutely. But I guess there's there's a level of passion and drive in Jade's character. Do you feel like that might be something that is very relatable for yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we both maybe have the same. Once we hone in on something, we're very focused, and we remain very focused until we achieve that. I would strive to be as brave as her. I would love to be as brave as Jade.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So something that inspires you from your character. That's really great. There's some pretty epic battles in this show with all the swords work. What was that training like? And be honest, do you guys make the sword noises? I feel like you would, Amar. I feel like you would be making the sword noises.
Yeah. Actually, I did lightsaber sounds, which is so.
I was gonna say I would probably still do a lightsaber sound, even though it is a sword. Yeah, exactly.
I grunted a lot when I was sword fighting.
Yes.
People doing it now. People would have to come up to me and tell me to stop making noises because other people were trying to do dialogue. They were like, "Hey guys, and there's 17 of you fighting or something. Could you fight quietly?"
Yeah,
that's my least favorite direction.
We had the thing that they would always. I wasn't making noises, but I was pulling faces. Oh, I'm just rearranging the light.
Yeah, I knocked it with my.
Oh, look at you, lighting guy.
I would every time that I would throw a hit, I'd do this with my mouth. I would do that with my mouth and this with my hand. She's very fabulous fighter. Jade's very she's quite camp with it.
Yeah, you'd be like killing stuff and going.
So the face would be giving proper fish, and the hand would be giving fabulous.
And but Sarah,
Fabulous.
Your stunt work would be like, clench your fist, Erin.
Stop blowing like cheese.
Clench your fist.
Well, you guys are both like warrior characters in this show, so it's like it's pretty top-notch work that you guys are committing to the choreography and really leaning into it. Erin, I want to ask you. It seems like you're on a geek streak, playing strong characters in Solo, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and now here with Willow. So I just got to ask: are you a geek? Are you geeky about these things? Do you like these worlds, or is it something that you're discovering as you start taking on these roles?
Yeah, 100%. But I don't think it's geeky. But maybe
Reclaim geek.
But maybe that's
Yes,
the thing that it's
that's what I'm talking about, man. Reclaim that.
Yeah,
Just a hobby, yo.
I love these. I love the different franchises, and I used to binge watch Marvel films when I was a kid. So
yeah, exactly. So like again, I feel like everyone's got a little geek in them about whatever it is. They're passionate about whatever. So as we were mentioning before, Amar, your comedy is definitely something that you're very comfortable with. And it also seems like you got some badass like moments in this series. Was that an opportunity for you to kind of lean into something different for Boorman?
Yeah, absolutely. Boorman is a funny archetypal character to begin with, and I think that his comedy is definitely unique to his performance, and it's something that Jon and I tried to construct throughout the entire process. But I felt that came kind of naturally to me because it's something I do. But the physicality of his performance was something that I really wanted to work on, and so we tried to give him this sort of fluid gait and this very performative, peacocky way of moving.
Yes.
So even if he walks up to someone, he might just sort of like make a thing out of it because he wants people to look at him, which is an interesting defense mechanism. But that extended to the fighting as well. You know, some of the fight scenes that I designed with, they were designed by our stunt coordinator, CC Smith, who's amazing. But I was there when they were being made, and I would try and change them into sort of more drunken style and an element of luck to the fights. You know, he might hit somebody and then someone else get knocked out behind them, and he's like, "Well, I was lucky," and that's how he lives his life. But the drama of Boorman was what really excited me because we get to break down that archetype over the show and turn him into a fragile character, and that's a very well-rounded, dreamy thing to do.
Yeah, you guys all have such a great balance with the comedy and the drama, and I think you guys make your fighting styles each unique to yourselves. That speaks to your characters, and it's very apparent. So there's a level of commitment that just jumps off the screen. But on set, who's the jokester? Who's the one that's pulling all the pranks and doing stuff to the other castmates? Is that you, Amar, or is that someone else?
I like to have a good time, but I think Tiki Popolori, Tony Revolori, he's the guy, man.
Yeah.
Or Dempsey Bray.
Boot camp, he pulled a lot of pranks.
Yeah.
The reason why I asked that is because it does really feel like you guys are a family that are really connected, close bond. And again, like I was saying, it just leaps off the screen and really does resonate with me. So thank you for taking the time today, guys. This was absolutely amazing to chat with you and learn a little more insight about your characters and what goes into crafting such relatable characters. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
So nice
Awesome.
to meet you.
Hey, Ruby. Hey, Tony. My name is Nate. Welcome to the Geekcentric Podcast. How are you two doing today? And how are you enjoying Toronto?
Hey, Nate.
We're doing great today.
We're doing great.
And I'm loving Toronto so far.
I'm loving it.
I mean, yeah, I've had myself a nice little Nando's.
It's
and
nice and chilly.
It is.
The
It's
I was
frost
going to
on
say,
the
is it
ground is
a little bit
wonderful.
colder than you're used to? Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Just a little
We're
bit.
both LA
Yeah.
natives, so
Yeah, oh my God, we are.
yeah. I love the LEDs in your back. This is
Right? I know that you're
Great.
like, I interview a ton of people and they're always talking about the LEDs. I'm like, maybe I should lower them a little
No, I
bit, turn
love
them
that.
down.
No,
You
no,
like
no,
it?
no, don't take
great.
them away. They're nice.
Okay.
You look like you're
Good
in
to
like
hear.
a spaceship.
Well, I sometimes I feel like I'm in a spaceship. I'm loving this show so much, and you two are fantastic in it. I have to admit
Thank
something
you.
too. I hope it's not too shameful to say this, but I hadn't actually watched the original movie until I
That's
sat down to
okay.
watch this show.
Mhm.
I know Tony,
She's never
you said
seen the
that-
original.
okay,
This is
that's what
not
I was wondering
true.
because
I saw it when I was cast. I watched it.
okay,
I've seen it a couple times. Thank you.
good to hear.
But he
Good
grew
to
up
hear.
on it.
I did.
Yeah, I heard Tony. You've mentioned before that you watched it since you were born. Is that correct?
I don't know
It's been
about since I was
playing
born. Yeah, in my
since
head.
you- ever
Yeah.
since I was young.
Just since
It just never stops.
It never stops in my head. Yeah, no, I watched it as a kid, but yeah, I love the series.
Very cool. Tony, I got to say, we here at the Geekcentric Podcast, we love you as Flash Thompson in the Spider-Man movies.
Thank you.
And in those movies, Flash, I think, always tries to be the loudest and like proudest in the room. Whereas here with Graydon, your character is definitely a little more reserved, a little more quieter, a little more of a
bit.
quieter disposition. What was it like playing, Graydon in contrast to someone like Flash?
Well, Flash is fun just because you can go and improvise, and John gave me a lot of freedom to really kind of just be loud, be fun, be douchey, and it's kind of fun to engage on those impulses because we all kind of have them. For Graydon, it was I would say maybe a little bit closer to me personally, where I like to take in a room sometimes. I hope I can be, charming, but every now and then, for the most part, sometimes the social battery's a little lower and you end up taking a back seat and you're in the background. So Graydon was really, really fun. But it was a lot more interesting to figure out the dynamics and reactions to whatever everyone is saying, because he's a person who's really kind of just looking at the entire room and making notes and taking even physical notes of where a person's at mentally.
Yeah, I think, well, especially with everything sort of, and we obviously won't spoil anything, but his character goes through quite a journey with
he
the whole
goes through a
emotions and
journey.
everything. But that kind of works for my next question then. I wanted to know, what trait of your characters do you both relate to the most? And maybe Ruby, if you want to start off.
I would say, I've sort of stuck with this one all day, but I'm really feeling it. I'd feel like our independence, I think, is something that I definitely was easily could connect with her on. She's wildly independent, where she sort of sees her way and knows what way she believes is best and will stick to it no matter what's going on around her. And I sort of relate in that way, more of just like sort of when I like to deal with my own stuff on my own term. I think on my own, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Independence. I like it.
Independence.
I think Graydon has a lot of empathy. And I feel like I have a bunch of empathy. Oh wow, there's a bunch of groans in the other room. I guess maybe not. But I would say that.
Very cool. Very cool.
Oh.
Now, Ruby, there's
I'm sensitive.
Ruby, there's some moments in the show where you're kicking some serious, we'll say butt for Disney, with your sword. What was that training like? And be honest, did you make like the sword clashing noises?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes. I'm sure audio had editing. It's fun. Editing out my. I was very vocal when.
What was it like for you?
What
were your noises?
I think it was. What was it?
Like,
Oh yeah, I'd always do like a yeah. I don't know what.
Yeah. Very, very Legend of Zelda of you. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was so fun. Honestly, it was so cool to be able to learn how to sword fight and to learn how to use my body in a way that was I don't know, fun. It was just it's really cool. And our stunt team was unreal. CC Smith, leader of our stunt team, him and his team just like taught us everything, and we were able to do our own stunts, which was a dream of mine, and I definitely
You killed it.
that was really cool. Thanks.
No, literally, you killed.
I killed.
Yeah.
Spoiler!
Oh, hey, oh.
I'm kidding.
We had the chance to talk to Erin and Amar, and Amar was saying that like he made a lot of grunts, and that like the sound, like everyone on sound had to come over and be like, "Can you guys fight a little quieter now?" I wanted
He did a lot.
he did a lot. I wanted to know, we're having a lot of laughs right now. I think this show has some great comedic moments off camera. Who's cracking the most jokes? Who's making people laugh the most on set? Who would you say out of everyone?
I don't know who's making someone laugh the most.
Who's landing the jokes?
Yeah.
Who's making the most ones and who's
So it's
landing
like,
them?
I feel like Amr and I are throwing like a million
Yeah,
jokes a
yeah,
minute.
firing
Like
it
pa pa
out.
pa. They don't always land, but like
Erin's hilarious.
Erin is funny.
Erin's
but
hilarious.
Ellie
also
Ellie is
funny.
accidentally funny.
Oh, all day long.
To me, it's like
This is who
you
she
don't
is.
mean to make that joke, but it's
Yeah.
absolutely uproarious.
Maybe she
Is
knows.
it? Yeah, maybe she's like secretly
She knows.
the most funny person in the room.
Honestly,
Maybe.
Warwick.
Warwick's pretty good
He
too.
lands every
Yeah.
joke he makes. And Dempsey. Last one, didn't
Dempsey.
mention.
Oh,
There we go.
Dempsey's
Dempsey's great.
is brilliant.
Our Canadian brother.
Yeah.
There we go. So everyone is laughing it up then. Yeah.
We
were all
we
laughing.
were all laughing. You
Yeah.
were pretty funny
You're
too.
funny. I was about to say you.
I was about to say you.
For both of you, I want to know there's so much magic in this show, and there's so many spells in this world. If you could choose one magic power for yourself, what would it be?
Teleportation. I've thought about this. a lot.
Right?
Yeah,
That's
I've
the one.
said that too.
Yeah, like the
It just
idea
makes
that
it so
like,
easy.
come on,
Come on.
we travel so much.
Yeah.
Like, we could go do this interview live,
But
and then I
also-
could go to the Paris and have lunch, and then I could
That's it.
also go to Qatar and watch the FIFA World Cup because the U.S. is playing right now against England.
Oh man.
No, against Wales.
Against
excuse me.
Wales.
Against
Your two homes.
my two. Yeah.
I would also want to be. I would love to transform into different animals.
Ooh.
Like Animorphs.
Okay.
Do you remember those books?
Yeah. Wait. Sort of.
Is-
You know, like the books. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking
Oh
about.
yeah.
right?
Is Animorphs more than a Canadian thing? Did it hit the States?
Oh,
that a Canadian thing?
No,
Why
Animorphs
do I
is a
recognize
huge
that name?
American thing. So
What
it's
is
Oh
it?
what?
the cover of the
Okay.
books were like some like kid,
Oh,
and then you see the slow morphing
Yes.
into
Yeah.
whatever animal.
Yes. Like that.
Like
that
that.
would be my superpower.
Your magical power.
It'd be a
I love
book.
that. I love that. Cool. Well, I think this show. Both of you, you're both royalty on the show, and it's on Disney. So, are you officially a Disney prince and Disney princess at this point? Is that
I'm
how that
gonna
works?
let you make that decision. But
Oh, yeah, we
yes.
are.
Yeah,
We
I think
totally
so.
are.
I appreciate
listen,
it.
God.
I mean, let Disney make the official stamp, but
Mhm.
in my mind, yeah, I'd
Yeah.
love to be a Disney
Prince
prince.
Graydon Haster.
Prince Graydon Haster. We love it.
We got to get the
Come on.
hashtag started. Thank you both so much for sharing your time with me.
Cool.
The show absolutely rocks, and I can't wait to see where your characters' journeys take them next. Both of you have a great day. Have a good time in
You
Toronto,
too. Thank
and
you.
and we'll catch you later. Cheers.
Thank you
Sounds
so
good.
much. Have a good
Bye.
rest of your day.
And we're back. They were all so lovely to sit down and chat with. I think it was honestly, I think the coolest part with John was hearing that the series was discussed all the way back in 2017 while they were on the set of Solo, and to hear that Erin Kellyman, she scored the role right off the bat with Enfys Nest, and I think that's so awesome. Like her character here, obviously so action focused with Jade, and so you can absolutely see why she got this role after being in that movie, and I think she's excellent in the show, and it's just cool to hear that that's like his first go-to, like it was Erin Kellyman. It just like makes sense.
For sure. I think that's very much a huge thing to celebrate about this Willow series is that, not everyone is white. I think that there's a lot of visible diversity, and it's very clear that was intentional to tell a story that felt contemporary. As soon as John was working at Lucasfilm, like he was trying to find ways to bring Willow back, and I love that because he's right. Like there's a nuanced storytelling style to Lucasfilm that if you look at Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and now Willow, that they all have overlapping themes, and their production value and their narrative qualities are very similar. And I think that, you know, bringing Willow back into the fold, it helps to kind of round out the experience of storytelling that Lucasfilm really wants to achieve. And it reinvigorates it, honestly. Like, it's such a smart idea the way they wanted to approach this series as a series and rather than a movie. You know what I mean? I thought that was really smart.
Yeah, I don't think with such a big cast that they could have done a movie. Like, I think they would have had to have, like, you know, cut moments. They wouldn't have been able to get as much character growth. I think a series, you know, anytime we can get a series, we get more time to spend with these characters. And it's so funny because we'll go back and forth on like, this really should have been a movie. This really should have been a series. But no, this series absolutely benefited from being a series. I thought it was great to hear about him and how he grew up with the movie, seeing it when he was just 8 years old, and then seeing it on VHS, Laserdisc, DVD, Blu-ray.
Oh, yeah. He has every single copy
he's got
of
all
this
the different
movie.
versions.
It's awesome. That, and like as geeks,
yeah,
you know, one thing we would love is the opportunity to work on any of the things that we are super passionate about. Like I would love to make a Ninja Turtles movie, you know what I mean? Or something like that, or work on that. So I can only imagine what it must mean to him as a geek to be working on a huge passion project. And, you know, you kind of see it in his responses and how he talks about the movie so lovingly, and the series kind of carrying aspects of what he loved, but being updated for today's audience.
Well, because it's embedded into his childhood, and I think that's the coolest thing. Like, and I think we can, like you're saying, like as geeks, we can instantly know when we're watching a movie or a series of like the showrunner. Oh yeah, the people that are behind this, they grew up with it. They're just as passionate as the people that are wanting to watch it. And I think the fact that he just cares so deeply for this world and its characters is awesome. And I think, you know, the whole aspect of Mad Mardigan, you know, the DNA is embedded into the dialogue of the show. And it does have like a really great sort of playfulness that I think it lends to the show, like he was saying. And I think the casting helps to really give the energy, because you were saying like they've updated it, and you can tell they've updated it, but we still have Warwick Davis as kind of our lead, and you know, sort of having him, but then bringing in fresh people like Ruby, Erin, and I think especially Borman gives us a lot of the sort of modern sensibilities of comedy that we really liked about the show. And again, you'll be able to hear all of, like, we'll be blabbing on about this on our spoiler-free review.
For sure. And I think that, you know, again, Amar talks about how his Borman is inspired by that of Mad Mardigan from the original. And I think that makes sense. That's who his character needs to emulate. And, you know, when Erin was talking about how Jon gave them movies to watch, I love that Breakfast Club was the one that stuck with her, because if you look at this group, it is very Breakfast Club, right? There's a really fun vibe to that. So again, just bringing in those modern sensibilities, but also having trust. Like, I think it shows that Jon has trust for each person that is cast in their roles to bring what they think is proper for their character forward. It was really funny to hear about some of the choreography and the energy that went into all of that.
The noise making, absolutely. I really I enjoyed the sort of, you know, Zelda sounds that Ruby was making. Apparently, and Amar saying they had to go to sound and everything, and you know, sound people had to be like, can you just fight quieter? I love that.
Ruby confirmed that, because she said that she's like, oh gosh, they had to like probably cut out a whole bunch of stuff.
And then, you know, Tony Flash Thompson himself, I thought that was really cool. I was stoked. I'm like, okay, you know, Justin gets to talk to Enfys Nest. I get to talk to Flash Thompson. And yeah, when he brought up Animorphs, I was like, whoa, how did
Deep
we
cut.
get into Animorphs? I'm so happy that we're talking about Animorphs. But I looked it up. I thought it was a YTV exclusive thing. No, they had it on Nickelodeon in the States.
I'm not sure, but it's not uncommon for stuff like that to kind of find its way over, because it was popular in the United States, and they made a show out of the books.
Yeah.
They made a show out of the books that you were talking about that would be on YTV and the Nickelodeon in the States. So
good.
I thought it was funny though that he was like, he knew what Animorphs was and like had to explain it to Ruby, and it's friggin' deep cut, man.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
So good. Cool. Anything else you wanted to say about these interviews?
Well, no, it's just, again, huge thanks to Disney Studios Canada and Lucasfilm for just giving us the opportunity to sit down with, 4 of the cast members plus the showrunner. Means a lot, especially because the show was on our radar of something that we wanted to cover. But I think even for myself, I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it, and it excited me that much more to sit down and do these interviews with Jon and Erin and Amar, because they're the cast, the story, everything is so elevated, and it's tons of fun. I said it in the interview, in a year where we got Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings, Willow is definitely a surprise and delight of the fantasy genre. So it was a great privilege to have the opportunity to sit down and do this.
100%. And little nugget from Jon at the end of your interview of they want to make more, or they are making more.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we'll get a season 2, and we'll probably have another chance to sit down and
Hopefully.
talk with some of these folks. Yeah, it'd be really great. Maybe Warwick next time, we'll chat with him. Even if it's just a shorter interview. See what I did there? He makes jokes like that where it's okay. It's fine. It's part of his comedy style. Well, that is it. We hope you enjoyed this special Behind the Geeks episode with showrunner and cast of Willow. And if you did, make sure to subscribe to us both here on YouTube at youtube.com/geekcentric and wherever you like to listen to podcasts. You can follow us on socials, on Instagram at We Are Geekcentric, or on Twitter at GeekcentricYT. And as we come to the end of the year, we still have some pretty, I think, fantastic stuff coming up to round out November and December, with more reviews and interviews on the way, like our most recent review for the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special and our interview with Pom Klementieff, where Justin actually brought up a really great question of who she would want the Guardians to gift to her to make her holiday special. And I was not expecting who she said, but I think that whole interview made me smile just as much as the holiday special itself. Yeah, so again, click subscribe, click the bell, like all the things so you don't miss anything, and leave a 5-star review on the podcast app of your choice. Justin, thanks again for joining me for this quest-filled Behind the Geeks episode, and as we say, love ya.
Peace.